moves together. So that way. And that way you get your shadows in first, and it just makes for a more unified drawing that way too. So I have everything ready. I have it drawn out on my page. I'm going to start with my dark greens, and I'm going to go into these darker edges on his wing. And even though I know they're brown, I'm going to use the dark green. Feel free to move if you can't quite see. I'm going to use the dark greens to create those browns and the dark reds so that I can bring those things in together. And this, I might do a little bit of green because there is some of the dark in there, but because it's a slightly different tone, that's a little cooler. I'm going to go into and put a little bit of the darker blue, the indigo blue. I really like these Prismacolors for this because they're a soft lead and they blend really nicely. Now notice, I'm not pressing very hard at all. As I do this, I oftentimes hold the pencil on the other end. I'm not doing it as much right now because I also want to get a pretty exact point. But I'm keeping my touch light, and this is the key, because what we're doing is called glazing, and it's actually, you can give it like a donut glaze, where it's a light coat of color or sugar, basically, and then as you put these things in here, and this is darker here, and this comes in here, this is the shadow, this is some brown in here. So what I'm doing is I'm coming around and getting all these darks indicated, and I'll come back and I'll go into them some more, but this just kind of lays everything out for me, and it allows me to blend these colors more evenly. I'm keeping the direction of my mark following the direction of his feathers. Just like when you're doing hair, to have something that follows that direction helps give it a nice movement toward it. And then this comes up here, something like this. I may not be following it exactly, but no one's looking at that bird. They're only looking at my bird. This is real dark, so I'm going to put some more of the black. Black, the closest thing you can get to black, I think, because I don't like to use black. I like to use colors to create the black. I think it gives you a richer look. The Tuscan red and indigo blue give you a really nice close to black color. All right, and then this has a little bit here, so I'm kind of going back and forth with the cooler darks here. And I would come in and use some of this brown because it really is a brown there, but I don't want to go just straight brown because then I don't get this nice mix of colors I could get otherwise. Now I'm going to go in with the crimson red because I think that will match the best. These real bright reds here. And I'm going to come in and bring those in here again, following that direction. It's nice and bright here. Here is the shadow. So I might first, because it's not as dark as the shadows in here, and there's more shadows I need to put in there, I might come in with the Tuscan red and put that in there. And that's the advantage of having all these colors to choose from, like when we're painting and we have a cool red and a warm red often. This way I can start to blend with multiple colors. And I like the darkers for the shadows, not just because they're dark, but also because they tend to be a little bit duller. And I can bring those things in there. Now here, this looks, I can also, now that I'm looking at that, I can almost see that blue in there. So I want to leave a little bit of it showing. So I'm pressing, still pretty light. And you can see by adding those layers, as the colors blend, I'm getting the look of the other colors, but if you look closely, it's going to be a much richer look than if I had just used that color. So anytime you can put a complement in a shadow, blend them together, you're going to get a more interesting, more complex group of colors. And I think when people look at your drawings and then they see like, wow, there's green in there and there's blue in there, it's like a little gift. It's like, oh, look at that. I didn't know there was blue in the bird's wing. You know, they use that voice too usually. I don't know where they come from. They just come. And then maybe I come up here. And again, see how the direction of his little feathers, one of those, is this way. I want my mark to be that way too. Now, oh, it should have been darker. So I can come back. This is actually the lighter green. Don't like it. I Doesn't it look like something like hit him in the head right there? It's really sharp edge. Does he have a name? Does our bird have a name? Someone give him a name. We need a name. Fred? Is it a boy or girl bird? It's a boy bird? Boy.
Romeo.
Romeo. I like it. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Do you guys still read Romeo and Juliet in school?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so there. See how I'm getting dark there? I don't want the dark. Where's the green? I want the light green. I don't know why they're going this way. Now I'm going to add some of this Tuscan red, and it will get the look of like almost the black, but it's just a very rich color on there. Same thing here. So I'll keep building this up and getting these different surfaces, these different areas of color to stand out. And like here, I tend to use the lighter color last because it acts like a blender. And there are colorless blenders for these colored pencils. But I personally like the texture. So you can use that for a really smooth look. It's like almost like putting the wax or like the goo that keeps them all together. It's not really goo when it's a colored pencil. It's more like goo and paint. But so my mark is following that, and then I'm going in with the white. You can see how it kind of blends those things together and brings it in. I normally wouldn't do the white quite this quick, but I want you to see it and do some more dark and bring up these colors. Can I answer any questions? Do you see how the colors blend and you get these really interesting surfaces? So it's really just continue to look at your subject and see where the cool warms and cools are. And by putting a little bit of warm in here, I see it, but it's also going to bring the viewer's eye in here a little bit more. If just one spot has it. I might do a touch down here, but not much. Make sense? All right, have I bored you enough? Thank you.